Hi there, it's Brenda, and it's Wag Off Wednesday. I'm here at Watch My Wag and wanted to discuss a call that I've gotten in kind of several times in different formats from clients who are experiencing difficulties. The call goes something like this. My 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 1-year-old dog is now growling every time I walk in the room if it's eating or if it has a bone. And I don't understand why. It's doing it to myself, my kids, my husband. Why is this going on? I've done everything right. Ever since it was a puppy, we would sit down beside it when it was eating. We'd pet it when it was eating. You know, we'd make sure we touched it. We'd put our hands in its food. You know, we did everything right. And I always pause and think, I know you had the best intentions. However, I think you've just identified what the problem is, because doing everything right is not interrupting and terrorizing anyone or anything while they're trying to eat a meal that they're really excited to get, and they're probably actually hungry for. You don't get in line in Starbucks and get your drink, and the person behind you, grabs the coffee cup, and you're like, "Oh, thank you for taking that. I was looking forward to sharing with you and becoming your good friend." It just doesn't work that way. Dr. Sirabasi out of Chicago recently did a seminar, and I was watching it online, and he used a great example. He says you sit down to a nice restaurant, you get your big old plate of food brought over by the waiter, and you take 2 bites, and he comes back over and he's like, "Are you done? Can I take your plate?" And you're like, "Nope, not done." And then you take another couple bites, and he comes back over and he's like, "I'm going to take your plate now. Aren't you done?" And you're like, "No, I'm really still not done." And the third time he comes over, he's reaches for your plate, you want to stab him with a fork. It has not created a type of relationship where you're happy to see the waiter, where you're less aroused, angry, or on edge, or where you don't think anything of the waiter except they're kind of a jerk, which might maybe be how your dog is kind of viewing you or the participants and those that are trying to take the food away during this process. The last thing you really want to do is interrupt a dog while it's enjoying a meal, especially if it's eating inappropriately. You become an antagonist and you inflame the situation, and putting your hands in its food and interrupting its meal and all that, it doesn't do anything to engender goodwill. You kind of want to do the exact opposite, which is either give a safe, secure, predictable space where they can eat their food, or if you're trying to solve any type of problem with food and you're working with a certified dog trainer or a certified behavior consultant and they have advised you, shown you, and instructed you, you would be sitting in an area near that dog, adding food to the situation, not stopping the meal, not taking away the food, not, maybe playing out some sort of flawed dominance thinking of you control the meal, stop eating, and the dog stops eating, and then you say start eating, and then the dog starts eating, because I don't know who really wants to walk around being dominant all day, or I guess there's people that do, but even those people need to stop. Just stop. Don't be that jerk. Don't be that person you wouldn't even want to be friends with. Let your dog eat. There is nothing that is accomplished because you spent every day interrupting your dog's well-earned meal to try and make it like you, less reactive. Anyways, just something to consider, that perhaps if you really want to make a dog reasonable and predictable and safe with food, that you leave it alone when it has its food, or you interact in a responsible, scientifically sound manner. So, just something to think about. If you're playing with your dog's food, knock it off. Don't be a jerk. Happy Wags.